started my recording. Okay. So yeah, before starting, there is a safe harbor statement. Hope the slides in full screen, right? In the presentation mode.
No, still need to switch to slide show.
Sorry.
Need to switch to slideshow, JP. It's still showing the.
Yeah, I have switched actually. Maybe the sharing part I have done some. I think I may need to share my entire screen then. Okay. Yeah.
Now good. Yeah.
Okay, let's start. So we have our safe harbor statement organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for learning purposes, and the organizer or presenter do not that the same solution will work for your business requirement. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Okay. And yeah, we do have simple housekeeping rules. This session is being recorded, and slides of this meetup will be uploaded to the meetup page in 24 hours. And during the course of presentation, to raise a increase the interaction, I have the mic and almost everyone. So be muted during the speaker, and questions can be submitted or asked at any time in the chat box, and we will review it during our Q&A session, where we will have it kind of a interactive manner. Okay, and definitely we are going to have a demo under the session, and give us a feedback with your feedback link, which you will be receiving after the meeting. And about the MuleSoft community, we have
JP, I think you are having a network lag.
Yeah, your voice is breaking.
the Salesforce.com and Anypoint platform, Anypoint.MuleSoft.com, and
Yeah, JP switching network. Just a minute. So yeah, quick question, guys. Like, how many of you utilized Vibes or played with Vibes so far? We can give emoji thumbs up.
your voice is also a little bit breaking. So am I audible clearly?
Yeah, now it's good, JP.
Okay, okay. So let me reshare my screen then. Apologies, team. Actually, there are, we had yesterday heavy rain here, so network and everything is a bit interrupted. And I think comparatively compared to last meet of the coast, this one is having good response, I believe. So okay, I'm coming back to the screen now. Okay. So yeah, coming to in case if you want to be a speaker in any one of the meetup group, Coimbatore or Salem, please do reach us to us in the LinkedIn page, and we have the LinkedIn QRs attached here. You guys can scan it and follow us on LinkedIn. And yeah, about the organizer, myself Jay Prakash, I am the integration practice partner, and I represent Coimbatore MuleSoft Meetup. I am the organizer and the meetup leader for Coimbatore MuleSoft Meetup chapter. and Yogesh Manikavasalam. He's the CEO of MuleSoft India Private Limited. He's a MuleSoft Meetup leader for Salem chapter, basically Salem MuleSoft Meetup. And that's a brief about us and today's speakers. It will be presented and co-presented by Vignesh Kumravel, who is the co-founder of MuleSoft India Private Limited, and myself. So Vignesh is a co-founder and he has almost like a decade of experience in MuleSoft and other integration technologies. So yeah, now coming to our agenda. So today we'll be seeing about Anypoint Code Builder and what is Anypoint Code Builder and how we are going to use it and how we are going to use it with MuleSoft Vibes and an overview about MuleSoft Vibes. And we have Vibes use cases and a live demo. Then we'll have a Q&A session along with key takeaways. Okay. Now, yeah. So basically, what is Anypoint Code Builder? So we conventionally we do develop in our Anypoint Studio. I understand, like in still most of the people are, and slowly the developer community is moving towards Anypoint Code Builder, since that is being insisted and it's being recommended by Salesforce and MuleSoft. We should see like how that IDE is gonna help and compared to our Anypoint Studio, and that is gonna be a good migration for us, I believe. That too, especially with the latest release of MuleSoft Vibes and ACB on this last May, right? So this is going to be good. This is basically Anypoint Code Builder is going to be the IDE which will be replacing Anypoint Studio soon. And as you know, we can do the complete life cycle using Anypoint Code Builder, similar to our Anypoint Studio. We can design, in addition to the design using Design Center, right? Where in our conventional way, we can do the design also in Code Builder with the MuleSoft Vibes and develop the API. We can create the MUnits and deploy it to our cloud. So yeah, and basically this Anypoint Code Builder is powered by MuleSoft Vibes, where we can have an interactive, development where that is basically prompt driven or rules driven. You can say we can set up our own rules based on our organization expectations, and we can make sure our workspace and we have the workspace rules and global rules and all we can set, and that followed like a bible by the MuleSoft Vibes, so it will not be missed. The best practices or the organization standards is not missed in any of the platforms. So that is where these are all advantages, and these are all kind of a good point to know about to start with ACB. Yeah, so that is basically what Anypoint Code Builder is, and along with MuleSoft Vibes. Yeah. Now going to this next slide of what is the advantage of going with MuleSoft Vibes. I'll hand it over to Vicky. Vicky, you can take it over. Maybe if you want, you can share your screen, or I can share my screen. I can move
Oh
to the
yeah,
next slide on your
yeah. Let you itself share the screen. Okay,
Sure. Yeah,
sure.
I can do that.
Hi, welcome everyone. So I know that like we usually actually can code in other AI tools that are available in the over the market. For example, Cloud Code, ChatGPT, or even Gemini, right? And you can paste the snippets, or you can ask this XML tags to be generated, or the flows. It will generate those XML flows for you, and you can copy paste, and it will work sometimes. But sometimes you will face error, and then you need to fix it again. So but over the time, like you can build the entire app, but still it won't be as per the standards you have in your enterprise, right? So each enterprise has their own standards. For example, loggers should be in this certain format, the error handling should be in certain format, because we follow this certain best practices standards that is followed over the time. You cannot just just because we are vibe coding, we cannot just ignore those rules and then just put everything in the single file, because normally AI, right, it actually generates the files, XML files, in a single page itself with all the detail and every stuff in there. But you need to define some rules for it to extract it in a separate file, and you need to refer that. So these type of things, right? These are rules that is specific for your org. Okay. they don't know your organization standards, right? You need to mention that each time you are doing, and they don't ensure your data is private and secure. I know that.
Vicky, just one thing, sorry to interrupt. Your voice is a bit low for me. Basically, I think if I'm not sure about for
How about
others,
now?
maybe you can keep your mic a bit closer.
Yeah.
It's fine for us.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
It's fine for us. Yeah.
okay. Maybe for me then. Yeah, go ahead, Vicky. Sorry.
Yeah, no issue. So what I meant by is, so they don't have the context. So you can mention the context, obviously, like you can provide the context. But when you are utilizing the ACB with MuleSoft Vibes, right, you can set the context, and I will explain you can set the context in some time, right? And also the privacy, right? You like randomly developers are actually putting all the code in the like open source AI tools and then generating the code over the time. Like sometimes the data might leak in the web. We don't want that to happen. This privacy is enabled in the VS Code ACB because we are connected to the Einstein Trust layer, right? So anything you are coding doesn't leave your ecosystem; it will be staying inside there only. And accuracy, right? So they do like. So accuracy is something like, for example, you need something in a certain standard and it should work as per the MuleSoft API, latest schema and latest connector versions and the flows and the tags, everything should be specific. So sometimes other AI tools hallucinate, but since Mule actually has all the context, it doesn't hallucinate that much. So it will be more accurate compared to other models. So when some AI tools get it wrong, right, we again need to reiterate. Our development time is becoming slower. Like even though we are by coding, it is slower. That is why that is where our MuleSoft vibes come in. Uh, yeah, I think we can go to next slide. Coming to the solution, the MuleSoft vibes, right? You can prompt. So I know that we were like when ACB was launched last year, right? Last year October. It was yeah, everyone was trying it out. I know that even I tried out in our last meetups. So it is still in the beginning phase. We were actually playing with that. It has a lot of bugs. Now it has improved a lot, and it is they are trying to get there to make it as good as IDE. So since we can wipe code and also debug in the same time, this is promoted by the Salesforce and the MuleSoft developers because they are actively working on it. They are releasing it every month. Even May month, they have released it latest versions, many features that will be very handy when it comes to day-to-day development. Okay. The one feature that is listed over here that is very useful for this 1,500 premium and unlimited basic request. So what does it mean for mine? So they have cloud models inside the VS Code, MuleSoft pipes. So when I say 1,500 premium request, it is cloud. So when you are exhausting that particular 1,500 premium request as per your org, then only you switch to basic request like GPT-4o mini, like GPT-4o, like that it will be switched. You can still wipe code, but it will be in the lower model. For higher model, you still have 1,500 premium requests, so you can wipe code all the day, right? It depends upon the how complex use case you are trying to build, right? And yeah, this is the official news of executions that they have done until Jan 1, right? So many people have tried this, so they are improving it every month. Yeah. I think we can switch to the next one. Yeah. So what is MuleSoft Vibes designed for? So I know that like Anypoint Code Builder is specific for designing the API, developing the API, and deploying. But what does MuleSoft Vibes helps? What are the different roles that it will help, right? So it is designed for all the team. So developers are needed for us to like develop the API and like deploy everything. I mean, usually it is a single person who does the job. Developers, architect, operations, admin. Most of the cases, right, we will be wearing multiple hats doing all this stuff. But what I meant by is MuleSoft Pipes is actually designed to help all this whole. Okay. So when you are developing an application, you build complex orchestration by calling multiple systems, aggregating the records, and then sending it to another system. So and connecting to legacy systems, to connectors. So all this are actually can be done using MuleSoft Vibes using natural language form. And when it comes to architects, right? So you want to design an application in a best practice or MuleSoft standard enterprise architecture way. And usually, like I myself personally, what I will do is like I have an idea on how should work, like how it should work and how the patterns has been already created and it's working, and like because people are working decades, right? They know that these patterns will work. These are the best practice, and they do it. But when it comes to juniors or a fresher who is starting, he might not know the architecture well to start coding it better. That's where the MuleSoft vibes come. It will optimize the particular code you are trying to build using the best practice architecture. It will design the technical, like TDD, like it will give you the technical design document before even starting the vibe coding, right? You can review that. You can make sure that it is as per the code, and then you can start building it. So you are having an architect also in the hand when you are using MuleSoft pipes. It is making sure you are following the best practice when you are implementing it. And when it comes to operations, right, you can actually deploy the code directly from the MuleSoft pipes. I know that like we do not usually do it, but it is useful when you need to find some like what are the list of applications that are running in the park, what are the assets that are active, what are the assets that are inactive. So all this stuff you can also search. That is admin stuff, right? You can just go and search existing assets, list all the assets which does not have AP instance, what are the active AP instance. Everything that is there in Anypoint platform UI you can count and you can get that in the MuleSoft pipes. So this is how it helps all the like whole team. Use of pipes help and then save our time because we don't want to spend time learning how or going and searching this stuff. We want to build integrations that deliver value to our client, right? That's where use of pipes comes in. And yeah, next slide. So yeah, this is the new version that they have launched in the May. Okay. So what are the workflow? What are rules? What are skills? We will talk about that in the upcoming demo. But I will give you a short overview on what it is. Workflows are nothing but, for example, you want to you want to design an API in the RAML, you want to publish it to Exchange. Then once you have published it, you want to import the API into the API kit router, scaffold the flows. You want to test it, then write the MUnit. Then after that, you need to go and deploy it, and then do like. So you need to repeat. You need to do all the steps, right? And you know that it's a simple application. Let's say, for example, you are building a system API, and you are already having a proxy endpoint, and you have the requirement text, right? You don't want to code like you don't want to go and like define each time. Okay, let's say you just want to you are building a proxy for the system API layer, and you have the component, right? So you put the context in the code, and you take the workflow, and automatically it will take care of performing all the steps I mentioned, and it will be deployed over that. You can just like validate over that, and then also like you can check in the middle, like when it as it performs it, you can also check what code it actually has in the. Is there a background noise?
Maybe can you move?
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay. Okay. I think we are good now. No background noise. Okay. So what I meant by is, so we can just define the requirement text, and then you can say start building the system API and deploy it in the MuleSoft Cloud Hub, and it will take care of all the steps that I mentioned with the standards. That is what the workflows will help, right? Repeatable set of steps because it's the same system API you are going to build again and again. same experience API. Once you define it once, you don't want to code the instructions again and again, right? It is very easy. So we can store this workflows in the MuleSoft Vibe itself, and you can vibe code it. And rules is the most important part, right? When you are writing a code in enterprise, they want the code to be in certain format. For example, a logger start, a logger end should be in each flow, so we can identify when the flow started, when the flow ended. And also it should, the error should be having a JSON format, so it captures all the relevant details. When an error happens in the REST API, you get a proper error response format back. And so what are like provide specific instructions for task with skills. For example, there is inbuilt skills that are available. You can also custom import other skills that are available over the market, and you can use those skills to start building different like reusable set of instructions in the MuleSoft Vibes. These are the new features that they've added in the recent release that they did in the May. Okay. Will like I will show you how it will appear in the VS Code in shortly. Okay. We can switch to the next slide. Yeah, so this is just a informational slide that yeah, we are able to like Vibes. How is it work? Like it is connecting to the MuleSoft MCP server. That's how it is able to like for example, you are saying build a Mule application. So how does it know that how to build it? It needs to know that it needs to have this command, right? Maven run and this entire command, and it needs to go and read the file first, and then only it needs to build it. You need to find the error. All this set of instructions, how does it know? These instructions are already natively available. That's how it's able to load and then able to do this stuff. This examples that they mentioned right in the MuleSoft pipes, deploy this application, list all applications. All these are some examples that will help the operations team, the architect or developer, right? So that's how we know that the Vibes is helping that. And one more thing is like it is also you don't need to worry that you need to provide full access to all the developers. It is as per it is connected with your Anypoint platform account itself. So whatever permissions you have, only those permissions you can do. For example, you don't need to worry that person can go and like deploy directly into the production. He cannot, because it is directly connected to the Anypoint platform account. It is managed directly over that. Okay, and yeah, we can switch to the next slide, JP. Yeah, I think yeah, JB, you can take this the prerequisites, right? This is something we need to have before do our vibe coding. Yeah, he will explain how to connect all this stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. Okay. Okay. So let me just go and see. There is a list of prerequisites which we'll be having. In order to develop using MuleSoft Vibes. Okay. So I'll just go through and show it to. Okay. So if you see here, there are a list of 1 second. Let me. Vicky, can you just give me that link? There is one prerequisite link, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here it is. You can post it in the chat so that everyone. Also, there are some queries. It seems. Okay. Okay. So, team, basically, these are all the prerequisites which we need to have. You can go through this. Meanwhile, I'll show you, exactly what we need. So, first, we need to have, obviously an Anypoint platform with our, AI code and everything enabled. Then we need to have a Salesforce org account, and that Salesforce org and the Anypoint platform has to be connected, so that we will be having the access to the Vibes and the cloud part now. And after that, we need to have ACB and MuleSoft AI access for the user, whoever is gonna do that has to be enabled in the Anypoint platform. And on the software part, we need to have the VS Code and Java installed in our system, so that we can install the ACB extension pack in Visual Studio. So let me show that to you where we need to configure that, and maybe while configuring, I just took a video also. I can share it with you that. Okay. 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 1 second. Okay, so basically, when you have the Anypine platform, you can go to your access management. Provided you need to have your admin rights, or else your platform admin should do this. In this, you are able to see a piece called Salesforce, right? Here, we need to click on this Add Salesforce all, and after that, in your Salesforce, if you go to your setup, right, 1 sec. This has to be done by your Salesforce admin, or if you have admin rights, that is well and good. In your setup, you can search for Anypine platform. You will have it as Anypine platform setup. Here again, there will be an option to add an Anypine platform, and once you click on that, you will be able to see kind of both the keys, actually, Salesforce org account key and Anypine platform key, that has to be exchanged between Anypine platform and your Salesforce, so that the connectivity is established. And when it comes to Anypine platform side on the user access, under the users, you should be able to see an access that needs to be provided, which is on the, if you see here, you can go to this add permission, and Anypoint Code Builder, you have two permissions which you can enable it for the group. So this is basically the prerequisite on the permission and the sync up part side. I have shown you on an existing setup. Luckily, I have recorded the same. I'll just play it for you, explaining the steps so that you are aware about it. Okay. Vicky, are you able to see my
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good. So if you see here, the moment you log in, right, the first time before establishing a connection, first you will be having this, enable agent force in Anypoint platform step to accept the terms and conditions. Once you click on this accept, it will display the accept terms and conditions part, right, where you can accept the terms and conditions. Then as I mentioned, inside the Salesforce, you have the option to add Salesforce org, right, where you can click on that add Salesforce org. It will ask for the Salesforce tenancy key. Okay, that you can get from the Anypine platform setup, where you will be having this you know connection part in Salesforce. Once you click on it, you have the Salesforce tenancy key. You have to copy it from here, and you need to give it in the Anypine platform, where you can add it by providing a name for the Salesforce R. And just thought like information here, you can connect a number of Salesforce organization to one Anypine platform, but one Salesforce R can have only one Anypine platform connected. Okay, so basically from Anypine to Salesforce org, it is one to many, but from Salesforce to Anypine platform, it's one to one. Okay. Yeah, similarly, you establish the connection. see this, that key you need to, and you need to provide Salesforce side so that keys are exchanged and the connectivity between basically Anypoint platform and your Salesforce org is established. If you see here, my connection org, my email and everything is established. Once that is done, I can enable Agentforce in Anypoint platform, and there are a couple of pieces which we need to enable in Anypoint platform for Salesforce, which is basically we allow. So this is not a mandatory part. This is basically, uh, but the prior part of enabling Agentforce in Anypoint platform, that is mandatory because we are accepting Agentforce to be allowed here. This one, whatever I am doing, this is for let's say we create an API and we are publishing it in Anypoint platform, and that needs to the API catalog, right? So as you mentioned here how it works, the entire details is given. So basically, whenever you deploy an API to any point platform, that will be automatically listed in the API catalog of Salesforce, so that that particular API can be used in Salesforce to create a flow or create any action to do the steps, right? So yeah, that's how it is. So you can, and you can select the business group for which you need to enable. Yeah, so kind of these are all the basic setup which we need to do for enabling agent platform, right? So, and also I think I have recorded the access for ACB2. Let's see if it is there. Yeah, I think, yeah, I think this is most of it. So yeah, and as you know, as I mentioned, like VS Code, you can always get it from in your Anypoint platform. You can go to your home, right? Yeah, once you're here, you have this Anypoint Code Builder, part where you can click on your get started, and if you want to use a cloud IDE, you can go with Anypoint Code Builder cloud, or else you can go with this Anypoint Code Builder for desktop, where you can install the Visual Studio Code and the extension pack. If I click on install, it will take me to this Anypoint extension pack. If you have the VS Code already installed, then you can either take it from the extension, or if you can simply click on the install option, so that this will automatically be opened in the Visual Studio Code. Now let me show it to you in Visual Studio Code. You can go to this extension where you can search for Anypoint extension pack, this one, and the moment you give install, it will install all the necessary API extensions, API kit extensions, data weave, and other dependencies for runtime and everything. Once you have done that, you will be able to see your Anypoint Code Builder logo and MuleSoft Vibes logo enabled. Once that is done, once you go here, it will give you a login option. Maybe let me show you here. Currently I have logged in, so let me log out. No, I am not logged in. So it is asking me to log into Anypoint platform, and it will take us to the browser where you can sign in, and it will hand over the session to the VS Code. Now my Anypoint user, which has the access to the two accesses which I have showed for the Anypoint Code Builder and MuleSoft AI, with that user, once we log in, it will take us to the MuleSoft Vibes part. And this is basically most about the prerequisites and setup which we need to have. And obviously you need to have the Java installed. Either you can take Microsoft Java or Red Hat 17, or yeah, any of the OpenJDK whichever you like. Everything works but MuleSoft recommends Microsoft JDK or another one that I forgot the name. I'll ping you in the chat that part. So both the JDKs you can install any one of the JDK whichever you are comfortable with. That should work fine. Now, yeah, let's vibe then with the live demo. So Vicky, you want to take over?
Yep.
Okay, you can take the screen sharing. So any queries you have guys on the setup in case you want to try along with us?
I think I need screen share permission actually. Can you provide that? I think I do not have it.
Sorry, Vicky. What do you
Screen
want?
share permission is not there for me. Okay, now it got.
Uh,
Okay, you were sharing and I was not able to share.
Okay. So on this guys, like on the setup part, a prerequisite in case you want you want to try any queries you have, please feel free to ping in the chat. We will respond. Yeah, we can go ahead.
Yeah.
Also, actually, we were having kind of a connection reset, but not from our end. I think sometime before we face this issue. Let's see
It
how it
just
goes
fixed
now.
now. I think I just deployed a GP, but yeah, we'll try to wipe code from start. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let me know, okay, even if you want, like you can take the fresh environments also if you need, you want it, I can give it.
Sure. Okay, let's start from the top, right? So I was mentioning that we need. Uh, so I mentioned that we have a couple of things that they have newly introduced in the MuleSoft Vibes, which are these actually: the skills, rules, workflows, and hooks. Okay. I think sometimes I'm seeing hooks is mentioned only for the Mac users, not for the Windows. Not sure about that. I need to check it. Okay. So if you're using Windows, you might not see hooks, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. So skills, right? So these are inbuilt skills. So these are not something that I have coded. Okay. So when you say you want to build a MuleSoft integration, right? See, it says it gives you the entire context. If you read it over here, it says Anypoint CLI. Using Anypoint CLI only we're building. It gives all the knowledge it needs, so it can do the build automatically using the existing Node package manager and Anypoint CLI installed in there, and it will try to build it properly because it should build properly, right? You don't need to code everything. You need to right click, you want to wipe out and complete it. It has all the knowledge for us for that to complete the build, right? Same for creating mule run config, deleting mule run config, executing or doc description or securing mule application. So all these are already coded step by step within the MuleSoft skills. So you can ask like do I want to mention the skill each time when I wipe coding? No, that's not the case. Based on the task description you give. It will automatically match the skill that is relevant for the task, and then it will try to execute as per that. Okay, that is the beauty of using MuleSoft skills, and it has all the necessary build and run and debug and secure the API things that are normally needed for us to build the application. If you want something specific, maybe you need to like build some specific skill, or like for example, like you need to write some custom encryption or PGP encryption, and you don't want to go try again and again, right? You can just define it as a skill there. It's an MD file, and then you can just refer that. If you add it as a global skill, it will be common for all the applications you build. It will be applicable, and you can enable, disable easily using this one button that is available here. Okay. And workspace skill is something that is specific for this workspace alone. Same like Anypoint IDE, Anypoint like Studio IDE. Here is also workspaces are available. So in the workspace alone, this skill will be available. So this is what the difference between global skill and workspace skills. Okay. Jumping on to rules. Okay. What is rules? Rules are something, as I was mentioning, that is specific for your organization. For example, you will have some rules like, for example, let me show you. This is something that they have already defined. Okay. So it is saying use data v 2.0 on the API connectivity part, and because that is the pattern that MuleSoft recommends to be used for reusability and design adaptable flows. These are common development requirements that is already set up by them, like Salesforce rules. Right? These are something that I've added. I was playing with a little bit, so I added these. Okay. For example, let's take this database standard. What I added is, so I know that we need to externalize database scripts, because before committing the code, our architect will ask like, have you externalized the scripts? Because any change you don't want to go and make it in the code each time. Otherwise, multiple developers working, conflict will happen. So this is something that we need to take care of. If our vibe coding is not taking care of it, we need to again like go and do that externalization and then do it. So these type of things you can export it as a rules and you upload it, and then once you enable it, it will make sure that it is all the data code that it is being generated, it is actually externalized before actually committing the code or saving the code, right? Similar to the data view standard, we have error handling. Error handling should have a JSON proper error response with this messages code, message timestamp, and there is logging standard, which is like start and end logger, and MUnit. MUnit. So what is like mock when should we use, asset should we use, and there should also be both happy and non-happy path. So each of these rules were actually defined by me. Normally, in enterprise, there will be a big rules file. Okay, like for example, we have one of a client, a healthcare client that we are working with. We are actually having a 300 line rules file. Okay, in the rules.md, we define all the entire thing that we need. For example, we use only a certain JSON logger, and we use only like our API name should be like that, and the structure should be like that, and it should be in certain format only. So all this we have defined in that rules. So for our demo purpose, it's a very short rules pack I have added. Okay, I will show you how it is actually applied when we are like by coding the application, right? Okay, workflows is something that they are utilizing to, as I was saying, right, it's a series of steps you can do. Like you can define multiple steps in here and then define it as a workflow file, and you can refer that workflow in the by coding, and it will take care of the entire process for you. And hooks is something that they have allowed. For example, let's say you are a code developer, right? Your developer is completing a code for the one of the endpoint. Okay, one flow is complete. You want if there is a if the AI actually starts building the unit for it automatically for the flow, as as one of the flow is completed, it will save time, right? You can do both the MUnit and the build at the same time. For that reason, like for this is one of the example I said. It can be multiple example. Anything you can define it as a trigger, and automatically it will take care of it at each specific points. So that is what hook is specifically designed for. Same global web workspaces, the same concept which I mentioned. Global is specific for all the users, and workspace is specific for this workspace alone. Okay. So let's try to wipe code one application. Okay. Example. Let's build one simple application, okay, which does the food delivery tracking. Okay, I'm copying the code from the like prompts from A only. Obviously we use AI to generate prompt, right? So let's just read a prompt, right? Okay, it says food delivery track API with HTTP listener on port 8081 and global XML, and these things we need, and local because we are going to deploy it local first and try it, and HTTP port and API permissions. Nowhere here we have mentioned that we need data view externalize or logger should be in start end or error handling should be detailed. Nothing we have mentioned because we don't want to mention it each time. So that's why we define it as a rules tab. Okay. Let's send the instruction, right? Okay. As it loads, so what is this? This is a checkpoint. Okay. So what is a checkpoint? Checkpoint is specific. For example, you are giving multiple prompts. Okay, first you are building this application, then you are deploying YAML, then you are building some another flow, and you, let's say you don't want the new flow which you are building. Okay, then you need to go and manually delete it, right? Instead of that, checkpoint allows us to restore. So for example, you can restore the files and task at this point. So this is the checkpoint that they have used. This is common across vibe coding applications that they have allow these checkpoints to be available. So same feature is available in the MuleSoft Vibes also. And what does this mean, right? What is this 64K and 1 million? So this is specific for the token. For example, we are using Cloud model, right? So the Cloud model, we have 1 million tokens for us to complete this workspace. Beyond that, we'll be switched to the GPT-4o mini. That is what it says. I haven't actually tried to exhaust 1 million. Maybe something for a weekend, right? We will need to play with that and see how it will work after 1 million is exhausted. But as for that, we have unlimited prompts. We will be switched to dual model. That's all. Okay, let's see what it does. So I didn't mention I need to use build MuleSoft integration, right? But automatically it already loaded that build MuleSoft integration skill based on the context we provided. And it is trying to give you like what are these other prerequisites I need. This is a trigger, and it is validating whether I have the correct Java runtime, Mule runtime, everything it's validating. And it is searching the connectors in the exchange. So since I have given auto approve, it is actually like running all the commands automatically. Let's say you don't want to execute all the commands, right? You have safe commands all list. Okay, you can just define what are the commands you think you will need for the agent to execute on behalf of it. You can explicitly mention it here. Only those commands will be executed on behalf of the auto approval. Others you can do manual approval when it is being invoked. And so right now I put execute all commands for the demo purpose, and you can also use the browser. So agent can go and search something in the browser and does by coding. So if you want the option to be available for the agent, you can enable this. So why this is a very good features because it allows that AI is not able to execute commands without your knowledge, and also utilize the browser web without your knowledge. You are in control of AI doing the web coding, even though it is automatically running all the steps for you. Okay. Okay, it's already it's building something, and yeah, this is what I was mentioning, the technical design summary, right? For example, as an architect, we would like to know what are the trigger, what are the project context, required connectors. So, and you can see I actually did not mention this, right? Start and end. As per logging standard, it's already adding it. And error handler, right? And JSON error response. These are automatically added in the requirement, even though I didn't mention that because it's there in the rules file. Okay, it's asking whether it can proceed. So yeah, let's proceed with the build. If I want to change, I can change. Okay. Yeah, it takes a couple of minutes, but yeah, it will do automatically. You can see that. So the benefit of utilizing white coding is it's actually reading your each project file folder before generating it, so it doesn't generate redundant code again and again.
Vicky, sorry, just one thing. I think there is a request. Is it possible to increase the screen or font size? Actually, for the people who are is checking, try viewing it in full screen mode from your end also. Okay, so that it will be good for you.
Okay.
In the screen view, right? There is a full screen option. You can use that. That is good actually. On the right
Everything
now.
looks good. Huh? It's quite intelligible, the text.
Okay.
I zoomed it a little bit. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That should be okay. Yeah. Also, there is full screen option, right? If they, I just checked it. With that, it is really clear. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
So that,
see that it is automatically asking me permission. Shall I save this local property? Let me approve. So I actually didn't give edit project fill permission. That's why it's asking me explicitly. Okay, because I want to review what else it's adding. Okay, it's adding, as you can see, it's adding in the separate DWL file, not in the inbuilt inline. Okay, and we don't want that. And it is giving the three tags which we mentioned the rules automatically, even though we didn't mention it in the prompt. Before vibe coding, right, I know that usually building an application and system APIs, right, it used to take at least couple days. Now using this vibes, right, we can actually build it in hours, at least the initial codes, and then you need to do the testing, obviously, for sure. But something, these are things you don't want to type here each time. And in the documentation part, I know that we developers don't like to write documentation, so that's where this vibe coding comes in, right? It gives a very good documentation on each stuff. Let me do one thing. I will enable this. That's fine. Building the error handler, referring the error handler that it built. Yeah, this is the structure we are expecting, right? The DWL should be separate, local property, global, and food delivery tracker API. You can also see the changes, whatever it mentioned. Let's go ahead and do the next prompt, right? Next prompt would be to generate RAML. For example, we actually generated a project, end-to-end project, using the rules we did. But we want RAML also because we want to validate the incoming request before we are sending the payload, right? So let me send the prompt to create RAML. Yeah, and now it's generating our API spec, again using the same skill automatically. From a single prompt, we have properly structured RAML spec with error types and error response. I don't need to say that it needs to be defined in the API. It automatically takes care of it. So yeah, these are the changes it made in the recent one, the RAML, which we expected. So as I was mentioning, it's an order tracking API. It's a simple order tracking API with a mock response. It is already generated the order with the order ID. You need to pass in the URI. You can get it, and if you do not have order ID parameter, you get a 400. If the order is not found, you get a 404, and you have all the items ordered listed, all the examples listed. Okay, and even the order status, which is a renum, right? Placed, confirmed, preparing out for deliver, cancel. So it's automatic that it define. If you have a requirements text, right, you can automatically define it over here. Here you have the option to upload the file or image in the requirements text. You can mention the entire text. For example, what I meant by that is, let's say you have Jira story, your PMS assigned, and it has enough information. You think you can at least start building the app using by uploading the file directly over here, and you can also upload images, the architecture images. It supports up to 10 attachments at a point to like in a single prompt, right? You can upload that and you can start building the application. So it's very handy, as I was saying, right? So now it has generated the RAML for us. We want to like scaffold the flows, right? Let's go ahead and like enter the prompt to scaffold the flows. I'm just giving some examples. So we have some data at least in the mock API. Since we are not actually connected to any database, since we have only this time, I don't want to spend time connecting to database. But yeah, we can connect to database. If you provide the enough connections and the connector versions, it will automatically take care of that for you. So we are mocking the data for now. Let's see, I just give this prompt. Let me show you another one in the meantime. For example, see, I actually didn't say that to generate the log flow and start. Because of the rules, it automatically made sure that it log flow start and end is automatically added with the correlation ID. So it's easy for us to track it. Okay, and even for the error handler, let's go switch to error handler. Right, it says global error handler. Let's go to global. You can see automatically it's by coding something. Yeah, it gives a proper transform message with the externalized database file there, with each individual response code separately. Okay, it's editing that. You can see even the data waves, right, separate, and the API is separate. And we didn't mention any of that. It automatically took care of this coding standards. And let me switch to vibe mode. Let's see what it has done so far. So it is generating a mark payload. So whenever we hit the API, at least we have this 5 orders. When we hit the API, we can get the return response. Yeah, this is how you can save time, because you don't need to define each time, right? The coding standards. In each from, if you want to define it, it will be hard, and yeah, that's where this context comes in, context and rules. Yeah, it automatically takes care of each file addition. It will take care of checkpoints. So in case you don't want the changes, you want changes before, as I was saying, you can revert to that or compare and restore, right? Since it is generating something and we are weaving, it's like we are unable to see it properly. Let's let it complete. And yeah, this is one of the new feature they introduced actually. Yeah, this new feature, right? What it does is it gives it like very good descriptive connector. Each what connector does, right? For example, who is the person who is less technical, but he may be a enterprise architect. He might be new for Mule, right? You want to review the code, he can actually go switch to the descriptive mode, and he can give context on each connector what it does. So he has relevant business context for him to review the code. This is something they recently released in the May release. Our guys followed the API kit now. Let's see. Yeah, we can go ahead and test it. If we deploy the applications, it will see automatically. Once build is complete, you deploy the application, you can test using this curl commands. It provides curl commands also. Let's go ahead and okay. We will deploy this application. Okay. Let's see. We'll try to generate MUnit. I know that MUnit. Let's see. So generating MUnit requires enterprise library when you need to execute in the command line, right? This enterprise library should be available for you to execute it. For example, you are using Anypoint platform trial account and Salesforce developer trial account. You cannot actually fully utilize the MUnit. I mean, you can still build it. Probably you might face some issues because of it. It is only for enterprise customers, right? For building MUnit. You can get the setting.xml from your org and you add it, then it will start to work properly. So this is something I have seen. Copy the email prompt. Let's see. See, it's reading the actual files, so it can generate the MUnit, and it also mentioning this is the version, runtime version. So it can generate the MUnit specific for the runtime version because it should use the specific MUnit versions for it to run. Let's see. So these are all skills that they've already provided in the MCP server that they have integrated in the ACB. That's how it's able to write MUnits properly. It's adjusting the POM file to include the MUnit version dependency. It's generating the second test case.
How do you, in this round, is there any chance that I can just double check something? I would like to ask, is there any chance that you can double check that I can double check something? So could you please confirm that the guardrails and all configuration of Vibes is done by yourself, or it is actually default configuration?
Oh, you can define your own rules. That's what I was mentioning at start. For example, even though there is default rules that is already available in skills and rules, right? You can define the custom rules to make sure it doesn't go too much outside of it.
Okay, I will be crystal clear. It's regarding precisely this demo and this prompt and this code build.
Yeah.
Can you just maybe say it again, because I saw that you started to describe it. Say it again. What did you change more or less from the initial configuration? And it will be great if you can share the very prompt that you sent to the Vibes.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, those prompts that I actually got it from the plot that is I'm running in the another screen, right? So what I meant by the like make sure that standards are followed, right? This is the rules.md file. That is what is powering up all the. Make sure that it doesn't go too much outside and it doesn't hallucinate, right? You need database scripts to be externalized. That's one of the rule. And second rule is error handling should also always be having a detailed error description in the JSON format. That is another rule which I have. Logging standard, which is for example, I need to have start and end logger always, and also include correlation ID in every log message and standard mule logger. If you have JSON mule logger, you can define it over here. It will make sure it is followed there. And MUnit standard, right? MUnit standard, it says use markman when you are replacing database payloads, and this path, happy path, and non-happy path, and more descriptive names. Let's review it, right? I think it's completed the MUnit part. I will show you the MUnit what it does, what it had done so far. Let's see here.
Yeah. Also, Edward, like I'm sharing you one URL. Okay. In that, if you see, you will have the links to, you know, how to use skills and rule set and workflows within the Anypoint Code Builder. Okay, which we can set up at the globally in your VS Code, and which you can set up just for the particular workspace also. Okay, so those steps are there, which might be useful for you.
You can see it has put a detailed description what each disk does, and also it made sure that it marked the transform message payload. Since we are utilizing transform instead of the actual database, right? You can just define it. All database or all external calls should be markman. Then it will automatically take care of taking that like marking the payload directly from that. It's a little bit trial and error based on your organization, what you are actually connecting to, right? Maybe database, maybe Salesforce, or whatever system. It depends on that. Let's switch to Vibes. What it has completed so far. Okay, it's fine. Let's okay. Let me deploy. I think we have some little bit time only. Let me do one thing. Let me deploy the application in the meantime. Okay, just a minute. Let me deploy directly from here. It says I'm gonna add this and deploy. So this is the project space I have. And it's in this particular environment, this runtime version I'm deploying. Let's go and approve it. So we didn't define the mule artifact JSON, so it will automatically read and provide add that name field over there. Wait a minute. It's adding the name field. So this is a command. Let me show you the deployed version. Let me do one thing. I have the previous Vibe application that I have developed. Let me show you that instead. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. So this is how it will work. Okay, automatically. Once you deploy it, it will automatically generate. This is the application. We have deployed the application, and this is a cloud up URL, public URL, and it will give you which region, which runtime. We go along with curl, because I put it in the prompt that I needed the curl. It gives the curl also. You can just copy that and put it in the Postman and start to test it. Okay, I'll show you the deployed application. Just a minute. That was our API. It's a different shared space. You can see it successfully started listening, right? And you don't need to leave the application to do the deployment. You can do it directly. Maybe it should be useful for the like dev environment, right? So yeah, so we have seen how to design an API, develop an API, write a MUnit for an API, and also deploy an API. And that's what we plan to cover in this session. I know that we can do a lot of other stuff other than this, but this is for the session for today. I think we can take questions now.
Just a question. This is actually a monolithic API. You did not split it on experience or system API. So
Yes.
just
Yeah.
okay. So it just to see. Can you show this in some other files? Not actually logs, but the configuration.
Configuration in the sense
Policies,
which one?
all that stuff. The policies of this API you deployed.
So what do you mean, Rick? This is the deployment property, and what do you think?
Well, is
So
there
I
any
think
policy
he's asking about the API policy.
Yes.
API policy. Okay. I think I might need to explore it a little bit. I did not plan for API policies for this session. I will check and come back on that.
Yeah. So
No,
basically, around like yeah. So in that part you are asking, right? So you can control it with the help of Palm. It is getting deployed with the default one. Maybe the current one, if you see, Vicky, I think this will be only in the runtime manager, right? In the API manager, it would not have been promoted. You can show it in the Anypoint platform to him in case
Sure.
where it got deployed, right? Yeah.
Okay, and the target for deployment, it's actually a custom Maven even configuration to define where you deploy which environment and whether it is completely default trial environment as far as I can see. Can you confirm?
So the Anypoint platform you are asking?
Yes.
Okay, this is the partner arc that I have. Okay, it's the Innovations Officer partner.
Okay.
You can do it in the Anypoint platform trial edition. That's
Okay.
what JP was saying. JP was
Yeah.
explaining
So
that right earlier. So since I have the demo certified,
Thank you. Very good. That's clear.
yeah.
So we use the partner because MUnits, right? That was not there in this one. But initially, whatever it was shown as a prerequisite, right? That all the things were configured on trial arc only, both Salesforce and the Anypoint platform. Okay.
Another very quick question. It's a question that always bother me because every time I deploy something on the Anypoint, I'm afraid that something will go wrong and I won't be able to do revert from backup. So any idea how to prevent uh, automatically generated artifacts to deploy something that you do not want, or to deploy something that you cannot revert, or it will take a lot of time, or you won't be able to know what was changed in order to do revert. If it's not actually explored this part, that's perfectly okay. I understand that it's very difficult question, but it is something that I'm very curious about every time when I see automatically deployed artifacts.
Yeah, so I know that we may not be able to we don't use that often in the enterprise version. So enterprise version will always be like we can wipe code the application however many time you want, but ultimately it should go through the PR review and then only it will get deployed. So that's what you're meaning by that. And yeah, you can define as soon as you have completed the code, right? You can build it in your local, you can test it. Once you are satisfied, you can commit the code and it will go through the review process. Then you go ahead and deploy it. So that way you know that whatever code that has been generated is as per the standard. Even though it is AI generated, you don't need to deploy it right away. This is just one of the features that is available. It may not be fully utilized for our use case, right? But
Okay, your suggestion is to use vibe coding and deployment for automatic artifacts in development only, and then you propagate it through the CI/CD as usual into production and tests, and you manage production tests separately in order to avoid issues.
yeah, you can also connect other servers, okay, MCP servers. It's not only Mule server, right? And in that, you can enable the GitHub MCP server or and then you can directly take care of pushing the code from here itself. Yeah, that is something that we may need to explore. But as part of this session,
Yeah.
it is the Mule server that we are covering.
Very good, thank you.
Any other questions we have, CP?
Yeah. Yeah. Any other queries, guys? Let me share my screen then with the PPT. Okay. Yeah. So, Vicky, is my full screen visible or it is in the PPT?
Yeah, it's full screen now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so basically we have the key takeaways here, which we were discussing throughout the session, which helps in the especially on the development effort, right? Starting from rammer design and till the development, error handling, and MUnits basics, and deployment. It's happened within the, basically you can say in 1 hour, 1.5 hour max, I think. But I would say 1 hour. It's still half an hour time we have. So all those things. So that is the basic advantage, which time to delivery, which we are increasing with the help of Vibes, right? So that is the main takeaway here, which comprises of multiple sections and points. Yeah. And yeah, any other questions? Please, guys, like we can discuss and we can make this interactive, and we are all learning here. We are also exploring things. Actually, to be frank, we were kind of, feeling bad that before the start of the session, just 15 minutes before, uh, the Vibes backend server went down and it was not connecting for any of us. We were worried, and luckily, by the time we reached the demo, it came up and it was really helpful, and we were able to pull through this session. Great work, Vicky. Actually, thanks for that. So, guys, any query or any, please feel free to ask, so that will be a learning for everyone. Anything on the chat box?
Yeah, we both need a Salesforce account, Bharat. Um,
To use Vibes. What if organization uses only SAP and database systems and not Salesforce? Since Salesforce licensing is quite costly, is it still mandatory to purchase and connect a Salesforce? Yeah, actually, the vibe comes with the LLM, right? So that is placed within Salesforce, if I'm not wrong. But I think limited capabilities. We haven't tried it without syncing the org actually, but we can try it out. But I don't think we'll be having the extended version of cloud and all without Salesforce connectivity. Yeah.
it might be in the
So,
Salesforce wallet hub. So the quota, they have
wallet,
something called
yeah.
wallet. Okay, that there they track all the LLM usage.
Mhm.
Yes, we can say. Actually, that is a good thing. You can actually import the APIs into the ACB workspace, and you can whiteboard the new endpoints over there. And you can even ask AI to read this and explain to me. Yeah. It also has plan mode, right? You can switch to that and ask it. It will, let's say you want to read through the big application, you just import it and then you ask it. It will give you a very detailed description.
Yeah. And also with this May 19 release, they have enabled multiple projects. We can have it in the same Xbox space now. Earlier, we will be able to have only one project running at a time in ACB. So now they are increasing the features similar to Anypoint Studio. So there are a couple of features which they have released in May 19, like running multiple projects together, so that and all will be useful for importing and all, and the existing projects you can check out that part too. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Can we enhance the deployed API? That is, we can. That's what we answered now. Where and how can you keep track of Vibes quota used by the team? Okay. I think the quota for the team, I think it should be available at the Salesforce side on the Agentforce Vibes quota, if I'm not wrong. But I don't know the complete answer 100%. I am not sure about it, but that is where, as far as I have searched now, and as per the documentation, that is where it is. Like we can see it in the Agentforce Vibes quota altogether for the team in Salesforce side, but now that cannot be visible on the Anypoint platform. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's bring us to this end of our session. So what's next? Please invite your network, and in case you guys are also not joined, please do join our meetup groups. These are all the QRs for joining our meetups. We'll try to keep the meetups engaged with all the latest releases of MuleSoft, and yeah, maybe in case you want to scan, yeah. I'll just pause here for a couple of seconds so that you can join our meetup chapters. Yeah, okay. And please do provide your feedback. It will help us to improve our sessions, and it will help us to improve our way of hosting. You will be getting the feedback email in by end of the day or once the meetup is completed. So please feel free to provide your feedback, and it will be useful for us. And yeah, once again, thanks guys. Thanks for your time, and thanks Vicky, and thanks everyone who joined and asked queries, which helped us to learn together. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you guys. So we'll close the session now.